ESPN in Arkansas. They do a good job.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it. Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
All right, I'll just start off the show today by letting everybody know that I feel bad. I feel sad. I am sorry.
Well, what for, Phil?
Because he didn't let us in on the joke ahead of time.
Well, that has nothing to do with it. For one thing, I thought you guys were in on the joke yesterday.
No, we had no idea.
I honestly, it was after 4:30 now, and I just kind of tuned. I was like, why isn't he talking to her yet? And I was like, yeah.
Does everybody listening know what we're talking about? I briefly mentioned it during the show yesterday that I heard there was supposed to be some big interview between our buddy Ty Richardson, co-host of the Morning Rush and former co-host here on Halftime, with his not lifelong crush, but will be his lifelong crush, Madison Pruitt from The Bachelor, and resident Auburn Tigers fan and fanatic and everything. And I brought it up yesterday. I didn't want to mention anything about my role in the heart-crushing, soul-crushing prank that was played on Ty, but I did have a feeling you guys were in on it. I knew Tommy Kraft was in on it, so I figured you guys were too.
I had no clue.
I had no clue either.
So do you want to go ahead and play what we're referring to here? Just picture for everybody listening. Just picture the unattainable celebrity crush.
Okay, well
that dominated over your life. Before you finally met the one that made the birds sing when it's dark and cloudy outside, and you see fireworks every time you see her, and your knees shake when you walk into the room.
Put the butterflies in my tummy.
Oh yes, right. Before we play this, let's preface this by how this whole thing came together. So there's this friendly rivalry. Now I've been here for 5 months, so I don't know this as well as you two.
Still is friendly,
friendly
right?
rivalry. Well, probably not anymore, but up until yesterday, a friendly rivalry between Zach Arns of Ruskin and Zach and Ty, as he just mentioned, of the Morning Rush, formerly here on Halftime. And like Phil said, big crush on Madison Pruitt. Zach Arns reached out to him, or at least on our end of mine and Matty T's end of the deal. We had no idea about this. Apparently, he reached out to Ty on Monday saying that he has booked Madison for an interview yesterday. And Ty, of course, was going to jump at the opportunity to go interview his lifelong crush and shoot a shot.
You only get one shot, as I learned in Hamilton.
You only get one. So, it took place yesterday. I was on
They had fabricated text messages and everything.
Yes, fabricated. Hacker and Harrison was involved in this.
I'm glad that a listener was in on this, too. So it's not just the station executives. It's not just the co-hosts. It's listeners as well. I wonder, some of the sponsors were probably in on that.
I believe Brandon Marcello was involved with this. So there was a lot of moving parts in here. The only two people at ESPN Arkansas that didn't know anything was me and Matty T.
Well, and Ty.
And Ty.
I think
which
that's
was
probably
the one that mattered most. When you're the mark,
Yes.
you better not know what's happening.
I think that's why I kind of am sensitive to it, because I'm like, this could be me. I could have fallen for it, too.
So we got the clip. You've heard it a couple times on the Rush, but we'll play this for you. Here's what happened yesterday when Ty made his appearance on Ruskin and Zach.
4:34 on a Wednesday. It's the Ruskin and Zach show live across Arkansas. You seem a little nervous.
I think I'm okay.
You started editing your notes, and I warned you that this was a terrible, terrible plan. You don't edit at the last minute.
Feel my heart beating a little bit, but that's okay.
All right, a couple of texts, but DQ, is she good to go? Okay. Titus Witcherville says, oh my God, I'm having a nervous breakdown. Smalls Mansfield says, literally never been more excited for a radio interview. DC and Jep says, Ty's going to bomb. This is going to be a train wreck. And text out of the 479 says, Ty, there's no way this goes well for you.
Not a lot of confidence. We'll see what happens.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Let's go to the Williams Tractor Hotline and bring in Madison Pruitt from The Bachelor and other Entertainment. Madison, how are you doing?
Ty, this is what's called an intervention.
Who is that? I'm trying to recognize that voices.
You don't know who that is?
Ty, this is what's called an intervention.
Oh, this is
the
Phil.
lesson that I think you're supposed to learn from this episode.
Okay.
Is never trust anything that comes out of Zach Arns' mouth.
All right, you can cut it there because that's all you really need to know. Yeah. Can I just tell you, leading into that, I don't know who was more nervous, whether it was Ty.
His voice was all cracking and everything.
To somebody that he thinks is the most beautiful woman on the face of the earth, or me, who was about to break his heart and crush his soul. I felt awful about it, and yet I went ahead and did it. And I'm reminded by JT here that now Halftime needs a new intro that refers to yours truly as Phil the Diabolical Elson.
Wow. It was the whole time, like, I was on the edge of my seat, mainly for Ty because he was getting to live out his dream. And it kept building and building and building, and there was that 5-second silence. I was just like, oh, no, what's fixing to happen? And then I immediately knew it was you. As soon as your voice started, I knew it was you. It was crazy.
So, I profusely apologized during the segment to Ty. And I feel like I even flipped my role, or at least tried to flip my role during that segment, because I reminded him, like, don't go all revenge-oriented immediately. Remember what everybody says, and it's true. Revenge is a dish best served cold. And I told him we're going to make gazpacho. We're going to make a cold, spicy, red soup that you can dump on Zach's head within the next 2 years or something like that.
Yeah, you never know when it's going to come.
Couple of months. Yeah. Make him nervous. That's right.
He'll never know when to expect it.
But don't you think of all people, Zach Arns is going to know something's coming?
Not if it's done the right way.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Let things, heal a little bit.
That was crazy. And the reaction that happened on Twitter after that.
Could we put like a Twitter poll out? What is the guy's name on?
Levitard?
That was right. Yeah, put one of those out. And
it's polls.
Like, was this funny or mean? Vote on that.
Well, yeah, I think it was both. And I got reaction after I tweeted out that I felt dirty. Yeah. And a couple of people said you should, and I did. I felt dirty. I like to be nice to people most of the time, especially those who are good to me, like Ty Richardson has always been. But I've tried to also communicate to Ty over the almost 2 years we've known each other, and I think you're picking up on this too, SmackDown, and I learned this, being in baseball clubhouses from 20 years. If they're not making fun of you,
amen. Hey,
they don't care about you.
Exactly.
I'd rather you make fun of us than us be an afterthought or not even thought of. So it's really all in good fun. Ty's dad tweeted that he believed it was all in good fun. He was entertained by it. I hope he wasn't just,
Oh, yeah, this is a roast. It's like a Dean Martin roast, We respect him so much that you got to make fun of him.
But and a lot of this also has to do with the way Ty handled it, which I thought he handled it like a champ.
He really did.
Because if I thought like, okay, if I'm, let's just say I'm 17 years old and I thought you're putting me on the phone with Kelly Preston.
Ooh.
And then all of a sudden it's some goofball that I've been dealing with for 2 years, I might have thrown a baseball at the people in a room with me.
There probably would have been a lot of explicitives if I'd have been in his shoes.
Well, so Ty deserves all the kudos for handling it the way he does. And OK Hogfan is right here, because I know that the unattainable for Zach Arns, amongst, probably like 95% of the women on earth, is Faith Hill. And her husband involved somehow to get
that has to be a made-up story.
Ty swears up and down now that this didn't happen or it was all a rouge. He's never going to believe the Faith Hill story.
I'm sure Arns has never made up anything in his entire life.
No.
Yeah.
Funniest thing that happened this morning on the rush this morning, we had Clay Henry step in for Tommy this morning because Tommy's on vacation. And Chad and Paris reminded me of this too, so give him props too. Clay said he didn't know anything about it, and then he proclaimed to call Zach Arns a University of Texas dropout.
Okay. Which really that's pretty much like below the eighth circle of hell if you're Clay Henry, right?
I was going to say that was a cold blow right there from Clay Henry about that.
It really is.
It was great. You can find the whole interview. It's up on all of our Pit That Line social media channels. It's all in our podcast. You can find it on the Morning Rush one, Halftime, Ruskin and Zach. So it's all out there.
Let me throw this out there to the listeners and let me know what you think. 877-377-6963. Am I a good friend or am I a Richard? I'm one or the other in this case. And I guess I could be both. I could be a good friend named Richard and take it from there. Here's I do feel both ways. I feel bad and good about the funniness, the humor of it all.
Here's a better question: can me and Matty T still trust you?
No.
I'm nervous.
I'm nervous too.
No.
Even worse, Zach. Oh, we'll talk about that when we get out of the break because I've got another story with that.
This is just going to lead to. I don't know if you guys have seen like season 3 of Fargo, which I'm going through now.
Oh yeah.
It's all about brotherly rivals and pranks and stunts that eventually go too far, and one thing's tougher than the next, and I just wonder if that's what's going to happen here on this station. All right, we've got Bob Holt, 20 minutes, and Paul Biancardi, ESPN basketball recruiting analyst, at 1:30. So stay tuned today on Halftime.
Billy Ray Smith Jr. with us here on the Morning Rush. Do you still keep up with the Razorbacks?
No, it's no different. Man, once you're a hog, dog. Come on. That's just the way it is. You check the scores, you try to get some highlights, and that's the first thing. And mostly, the only thing I check on is how my Razorbacks did.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith is now open for dine-in, curbside to go, and delivery for both lunch and dinner, 7 days a week. TGI Fridays is taking your safety seriously, following every guideline. Enjoy Fridays favorites like appetizers, burgers, sandwiches, salads, all the great Fridays, signature entrees, kids meals, and great desserts. TGI Fridays, now open for dine-in, curbside to go, and delivery. Call 479-484-0906. That's 484-0906. Or order online at Fridays.com. Your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 in Rogers and Fort Smith.
Summer's winding down, so Breeden RV is cranking up the 2020 blowout sale. New inventory is arriving daily, and Breeden RV needs to make room for new models like Keystone, Forest River, Coachman, and many more. Get great deals like this 25-foot Coachman that was $26,700, but the blowout price is only $18,900 or $185 a month. Our exclusive maintenance for life comes with everything new, and we're here to handle all your parts and service needs. Visit us at BreedenRV.com and then come get your best deal during the 2020 blowout sale at Breeden RV. See dealer for details.
Are your appliances struggling? Do you need that part and not sure where to go? Mid-South Distributing has you covered with 9 locations in the Arkansas area. Appliance parts and accessories for all major brands of appliance. Mid-South Distributing has you, the customer, in mind when you're needing that part for your appliance. Mid-South Distributing. Check out midsouthparts.com to find your location near you. Mid-South Distributing. We're in your neighborhood.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. It's a difficult time right now, and social distancing is vitally important. That's why I'm here to encourage you to keep running. It's a great way to exercise in solitude, build up your immune system, and keep from going stir-crazy. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more tips on how to take care of yourself during this time. And remember, just keep running. This has been brought to you by True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
ESPN Arkansas and Big Creek Trading want to help you relax during these dog days of summer. Relax in style in a sky pod from Eno Hammocks and a lounger hanging chair including hammock and stand from Big Creek Trading Company, valued at $450. Imagine how much better summer will look from your own sky pod or lounger hanging chair. Get to hitthatline.com to register or stop by Big Creek Trading Company before August 14th. Stop sweating the dog days of summer with Big Creek Trading Company and hitthatline.com.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
This time of year is hectic, and we know you have things to do and places to be. Southern Tire Mart can help you get there and save you money on America's most trusted brands like Michelin and BF Goodrich. Take advantage of our $29.95 oil change, which includes a 27-point vehicle inspection. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith today for quality Michelin and BF Goodrich tires and the best-in-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Southern Tire Mart.
This is ESPN 95.3. This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
67-66, Vandy's not going to call a timeout. We got an offensive foul. Saban Lee pushed off his 5th foul of the game, and Arkansas is going to get the ball with 8.2 to go.
Some stuff to get to before we go to Bob Holt. And, oh, by the way, in 15 minutes, Sam Pittman is scheduled to have a Zoom press conference with the Arkansas media. That does include Bob. So we recorded the interview with Bob before we got on the show today. Football stuff to get to. A useless poll was put out today. That's the coaches poll, the preseason poll, top 25. And I have to give Alex Kirshner some credit for one of my favorite tweets of the year, responding to this this poll, this college coaches poll. Alex is a sports writer and an editor, and he says, here's his preseason top 25 ballot. It makes 25 words. 1 through 25, it reads, there's a pandemic going on, and I don't think it matters that much, and it's silly that we're even doing this right now, but Texas. Yes, I guess you have to say, would there be a preseason poll, even in a pandemic, if you're not, saying Texas is back?
Oh, yeah.
Even though they're really not? So, Clemson is number 1. Ho-hum, so big surprise.
Arkansas number 2?
Yeah. Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Oklahoma, Penn State, Florida, Oregon, and Notre Dame making up the top 10. So just as usual, tons of SEC schools in there. Only the top-ranked school is Alabama, and they are at number 3. So the Big Ten did their schedule release yesterday. The ACC did it this morning. The Notre Dame-Navy series is not happening this year. There is no Notre Dame-Navy game for the first time since, I think it was 1927.
Yeah, I was looking for that game, and I didn't see it. I was kind of curious what ended up happening to it.
They're playing Western Michigan in the second week. That's September the 19th. Navy would have had to make the trip to Notre Dame based on the ACC rules of the non-conference game either being at home or on the road inside the same state. So the midshipmen would have had to make the trip to go to South Bend. And I saw where BYU has now scheduled Navy for September the 7th. So that's a couple of the Navy is not an independent. They're an AAC school. So BYU is the independent. They're going to put their season together. Remember we said, Notre Dame's not an independent this year, SmackDown. They're now an ACC team for this year.
Correct.
The other independents that probably can schedule out a full year would be BYU and if I'm forgetting who else is out there, Army.
Yes.
Army is a football independent. I would imagine they can put a season together. The other independents probably not. Of course, UConn was the first to say we're out for whatever reasons. The ACC schedule is out, and we'll get through that throughout the show. Of course, the Big Ten, and I would assume the SEC schedule's got to come out soon. If you're getting the coaches going up for press conferences or at least Zoom pressers, then I think they'd like to know what their schedule looks like before they preview the season with the media. All right, we got a call here. If you want to get with us, it's 877-377-6963, going to John on the phone. Hi, John. You're on the air. What's up?
Gentlemen of the ESPN Midday Show, how are we today?
We're doing good.
Very good. You remember the new name for our show.
He did.
Yeah,
you're absolutely correct. Hey, guys, what about the excitement of hearing from Coach Pittman? You think there might be a schedule release? And just like they was talking about today on the Morning Rush, you kind of got to sneak some questions in there, so maybe a little bit will get leaked, you know.
Well, and this is the first time, and we did kind of confirm this with Bob Holt. This is, we believe, the first time that Coach Pittman is able to speak with media while actually having eyes on the players during practice. I mean,
Right.
They didn't get any spring practice. There was workouts. They had the voluntary workouts during the summer. The coaches are not allowed to be in on those workouts or even in the rooms or even talking to the trainers about it. So, whatever's been going on for the last week is Coach Pitt's first time in on practices with these guys. So I think it's an important time to get his thoughts on what he has been able to see, even if you don't have the schedule right in front of you.
Absolutely. And that's another thing we got to remember as fans. He is a head coach. He is a offensive line mastermind. We've seen that from the past. But we do have an offensive line coach that's going to be helping out. And, I just kind of wanted to touch on that too.
Well, there's no doubt.
How involved do you think that he's going to be in that?
That he'll be in the role as head coach?
No, the offensive line.
Oh, well, I mean, it'll take a couple years to build it up to the way that he'd like it, but I mean, you read in the Democrat how Myron Cunningham has been so excited. Remember, Cunningham came here to play for Dustin Fry and Chad Morris, and then a year later, he's got a completely new set of coaches. But he says, Coach Pitt has been in on meetings with offensive linemen, helping with techniques and advice here and there, and it seems he and Brad Davis really work very well together with offensive linemen. So Davis has a tremendous reputation for coaching linemen. Sam Pittman's track record speaks for itself. I don't see how the offensive line doesn't improve this year, and then I could imagine leaps and bounds of improvement in the ensuing years after year one, when you start to get, so to speak, your guys, your recruiting class in on that line on a week-by-week basis.
Absolutely, and we're doing a heck of a job recruiting. And the gentleman, JJ, that we got coming in from Greenland, I feel sorry for my Mansfield Tigers. They're going to be having to work against that boy. Hey, guys, y'all have a good one, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you
Thanks,
calling
John.
in,
Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. And I also certainly appreciate him remembering the new name for the show, which hasn't become official yet. We're mimicking the Washington football team by going ESPN Arkansas's midday sports program. 877-377-6963. So I kind of looked through this ACC schedule, SmackDown, and, actually I was looking at the Big Ten schedule. Can't help but notice maybe the Big Ten tried to help their contending schools for a playoff spot, like an Ohio State, a Michigan, maybe a Penn State. Certainly Ohio State, they got Purdue on one of the cross-divisional matchups. Purdue's the worst team in the West Division for the Big Ten. They and Northwestern last year were really at the bottom, and Ohio State, they did get Iowa, but I mean you get the last place team from the other division to face the conference champion, and it does make me wonder. I mean, look, Wisconsin gets Rutgers. Wisconsin is a contender in the East. Rutgers, I don't even know if they're going to field a team this year, but they certainly are not Big Ten caliber. So it does have a little bit of a feeling that whoever made this Big Ten schedule, I mean, Minnesota gets Maryland, Michigan here. I'm seeing they've got Purdue. These are the schools that are supposed to contend, and they're getting bottom feeders. Do you think, SmackDown, that the SEC might try to make a little more of an open road to the championship or at least the playoffs for like an Alabama or a Georgia, who, by the way, play each other this year? So are you really going to pit Alabama against Florida, because it's a matchup of two teams that were near the top of the standings in each of their divisions last year? Or are you going to see, like, Arkansas be forced to play Georgia, Alabama maybe get Vanderbilt, in order to pad these teams' resumes for the playoff committee?
I could look at this two ways. I could see that way happening up just that way when you have your familiar SEC title game. Eventually, when the college football playoff rolls around, I could see that. I could also look at this a different way and say I disagree that they go that route, because if there's no non-conference games, there's no fans in attendance. First conversation, none of that's been said yet, but we'll just say for this, no fans, no non-conference games. TV is going to want the best game possible. What would sell better, Alabama versus Florida or Alabama versus Vanderbilt?
Or would it also just sell better to know that one team from this league makes it to the championship or at least the playoff?
Fair,
because
that too.
They had an undefeated record. It's going to be a little more difficult to have an undefeated record this year. You're playing against 9 teams or 10 teams from the same league.
But then you could also look at it too of how confident are you that we even get to that point?
Well, then there's that.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different layers. I do think they'll go that route and kind of like the strength of schedule aspect of it.
Now, look, college football is not the NFL. The NFL wants to try to achieve parity. They make a schedule based upon competitive balance. College football never has had to face anything like this. College football's not concerned with competitive balance. They never have been. It's all about each league having a clear path to the college football playoff. I think the Big Ten did that for a couple of their better teams. Certainly the ones out of the East Division they did. Will the SEC do the same thing to answer what the Big Ten did? SEC certainly wants to see one of their teams in the playoff. I mean, you expect it, and they're already going to face a tougher schedule just because it's 10 SEC games. Something to munch on with Bob Holt from the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. That's coming up right after this.
When we rise above alcohol and drugs, we reach for, expect, achieve, and accomplish more. The minute we think about using alcohol or drugs, we lower our chance of living our best life. When we rise above, we respect ourselves and live our best life, not a stressed life. Being drug and alcohol free has always been the best way to be. Hey, it's my best me. Let's do this. Join the RAAD movement. Challenge yourself to rise above alcohol and drugs. To learn more, find and like us on Facebook. Our Facebook page is Region 2 Partners for Success, and you can reach us at 870-391-3176.
Dell supports America's entrepreneurs during Small Business Month with all you need to office anywhere. Save up to 45% on computers and servers with Intel Core processors. Upgrade to new modern devices with Windows 10. Plus save on top brand tech while enjoying free shipping on everything and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call 877-ASK-DELL to talk to a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the tech that's just right. That's 877-ASK-DELL or visit Dell.com/smallbusinessdeals.
Furniture August Back to School Sale. We are giving away this USA-made custom leather sectional on August 31st at 4:30 p.m. Must come in to register. In August, discounts on all furniture and mattresses to our finance and cash customers.
You can't discount and give away furniture.
I'll do what I want to do.
I still run this show. I just let her think she does. It was my idea in the first place.
What'd you say?
Nothing, honey. Frank Rowe Furniture. Best seats in the house.
Franco Furniture.
Van dealership today. Mercedes-Benz vans start at just $33,790. Now with 0% APR financing for up to 60 months.
MSRP on a 2019 Sprinter van excludes all options, Texas title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep fee. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details about costs and terms. Some equipment is practice optional. APR valid on 2019 Sprinter vans, excluding cab chassis, only to qualified commercial customers exclusively through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services at participating dealers through August 31st, 2020.
The new Del Sol Mexican Grill in Fort Smith is now open. Located on East Rogers next to Mazard Creek, Del Sol Mexican Grill is proudly family-owned and serves the best Tex-Mex in the River Valley. Del Sol fajitas are made from top-quality meat, and you will taste the difference in all their menu items. Enjoy a cold beer in the bar with sports programming always on the TVs, or maybe relaxing on the patio over the water is more your style. Find their daily menu specials on Facebook and Instagram. Del Sol Mexican Grill is open at 10:30, 7 days a week, and Monday through Thursday till 9, Friday and Saturday till 10, and Sunday till 3.
We're now living in uncharted waters with the spread of COVID-19. With the partial closing of a lot of businesses, sadly, some will soon try and turn your possessions into their possessions. Guardtronic has been providing security for homes and businesses for over 60 years. Whether you need a camera system to keep an eye on things or a complete home security system, call Guardtronic 479-785-2323 or go online to guardtronic.com. We have so many worries these days, safety should not be one of them. License E50.
Hello? Hello, Mr. Crane. I'm calling about today's appointment. The tree is scheduled to fall on your RV at 2:14 today.
Any way we can reschedule? We're really enjoying our trip.
Oh, I'm sorry, but that's our only opening.
Can it just be a little tree?
Let me check. No, sorry. Our file says it's a huge one.
RV owners can't schedule when things go wrong on the road. That's why there's Progressive, a leader in RV insurance.
Is it 2:14 p.m. or a.m.?
You know, I'm not sure. Can I put you on a brief hold?
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Evans Body Shop wants you to know that you are now able to get the repair process started on your schedule. With just a few clicks of your cell phone, you can send photos and your vehicle information directly to our shop. We will respond within 24 hours with a detailed estimate for repairs. It's that simple. We are here for you. Visit our website for all of the details. We offer complimentary pickup and drop-off as well, and extra steps are being taken to ensure your car is returned as good as new and completely sanitized.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Joe, for the record, gets it from the corner. Isaiah with the three. That's his 103rd of the year, and he sets an Arkansas record for made three-point baskets in a season.
Welcome back to Halftime on this lovely Thursday. There is a Zoom press conference that is beginning right about now involving Arkansas head football coach Sam Pittman. And so we've recorded our usual weekly segment with Bob Holt before the show. So let's bring him on here and see what he wants to find out during this press conference. Bob, what's going on today? How are you?
I'm good. Nice weather here. I actually got out and walked early this morning. It felt like a nice spring day. It didn't feel like the middle of August.
No kidding. Doesn't feel like summer at all. Also doesn't feel like summer because the guys aren't on the football field right now. But sometime soon they will be. Zoom press conference today. I know you'll probably get the first question, even in a virtual press conference. So what's at the top of your mind talking with Sam Pittman this afternoon?
Well, yeah, a lot of things. I guess one, I'd want to know what's his reaction as a first-time SEC coach to have to play 10 SEC games, because obviously Arkansas has really struggled in SEC play, and that's why Sam's the coach. That's why they made a coaching change. He got brought back to Arkansas to try to fix the program and get them competitive again in the SEC. And when you're trying to rebuild a program, it's tough enough in the SEC, especially the SEC West, and then you have to play all conference games 10. That's never been done before, I don't believe. I know Arkansas has never done it. I don't think anybody's ever done it. So just how tough a challenge is that, to have to play 10 SEC games. I'd want to know his reaction to that. And I guess just how these preliminary workouts have been going. At least it's something. It's not like, full-scale practices. And actually, when the practices start, they'll have to sort of ease in, just wear helmets at first. But that's always been that way. But just how the guys look to this point, kind of what's the, how's their attitude, and, how good is it that, unlike a lot of these schools you're hearing about, they haven't had to shut down any practices because, guys are going to parties, which I totally get. College students want to go to parties, but, in this new normal, they got to try to be more disciplined than that. I'd want to know about that, and maybe just how anxious, how confident he is that they can actually have a season,
Now, I guess it's an odd thing to think about this, but is this the first time that you guys have had a chance to speak with Coach Pittman since coaches are allowed to be at the activities that the players are taking part in? I mean, there was no spring practice. The coaches weren't allowed to be in on the voluntary workout sessions. So I think this is the first time he is speaking to you guys with actual, eyes on players during practice sessions. Is that true?
I think that's right. I'd have to look back through my emails and notes to see the last time, but I'm pretty sure that the last time we talked to Sam, the players were on campus. They were going through supervised, conditioning and weightlifting and things like that. But the coaches, obviously the strength and conditioning coaches are allowed to see the players. But, I think according to the rules, the football coaches aren't supposed to ask the conditioning coaches, hey, how's so-and-so doing? I don't know how you actually enforce something like that, but the idea of that is this is the strength and conditioning coach's time, not the football coach's time. And so, I think this will be the first time we've been able to talk to Sam since they've gotten to at least get on the field with these guys and go through some walk-through things or, things of that type. Like I say, they're obviously not having contact yet. They're not in pads or helmets, but they're at least on the field doing stuff, something. So it'll be the first time. I'm pretty positive, like you said, the first time we talked to Sam, since they've had a chance to see the guys and be with them, beyond Zoom calls and things of that nature. And also, it's definitely the first time I've talked to Sam since they announced they're going to play 10 SEC games.
Well, and that was the next thing I was going to bring up because the ACC came out with their schedule earlier today. Yesterday it was the Big Ten. I've been told look out for an SEC schedule sometime by the end of the week, and I would assume, I don't know if Arkansas would be able to plan it properly this way, but you'd like to know the schedule that you're supposed to play before putting the head coach out in front of the media to talk about, because he's going to get scheduling questions. And I wonder, I looked at the Big Ten schedule, and you see that they have made a little bit of an easier path to the college football playoff championship, or at least the playoff, by giving the top teams in each division some of the bottom teams from the other division. And I wonder if you think if the SEC might do the same thing, like pit Arkansas against Georgia. I know that that's already a possibility because they're on the rotation for the Razorbacks next year. But, in this sense, I almost feel like if the SEC were to do what the Big Ten is doing, and if it's all about protecting your best teams in your conference, why wouldn't you put first place against last place in the cross-conference games?
Phil, I'm really shocked that you would think that way, because the schools would try to tilt the schedule in favor of certain teams. That's just not right. I'm kidding, of course. That definitely could happen. You'd like to think, in the spirit of fairness, they would, especially with a team like Arkansas that struggled to the extent they have, lost 19 straight SEC games. You'd like to think they wouldn't give them Georgia and Florida. If they did, that would kind of smack of a conspiracy. But they certainly might. Arkansas, Arkansas is probably not going to be fair against anybody. But obviously, they'd probably love to get Vandy and Kentucky. And but my guess is they're going to get Florida or Georgia, and then maybe Vandy or Kentucky or South Carolina. They won't get two of the best teams. They won't get two of the, I hesitate to even say worst teams in the SEC, but especially when you think about what Vanderbilt did to them a couple of years ago here. But my guess is they'll get Florida or Georgia, one of those, and then one of the other three, sort of balance it out. But yeah, you're right. I mean, there definitely could be ulterior motives there to make sure that the SEC, upper echelon teams have a little easier path, because Alabama might say, well, we're already playing all these West teams. I think Alabama gets Georgia this year too. I might be wrong. I think it's Georgia and Tennessee. So they might say, hey, we don't need Florida on top of that. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure whatever happens, there's going to be some people that are ticked off and complaining about it. It's Mark Womack, the associate commissioner, who's in charge of putting the schedules together. He really has a thankless job.
Speaking to Bob Holt here on Halftime. Bob, let's switch gears and go over to men's basketball. You had a great piece in Whole Hog Sports talking about Isaiah Joe's return, cementing the top 25 status for the Razorbacks this season. We've heard from Eric Musselman talking about expectations for this team, and he's been quoted as saying, bring it on, bring on the expectations. Bob, what are your expectations now for this team with Isaiah Joe returning into the fold?
Well, yeah, I vote in the AP poll. As far as I know, I'll do it again. I hope I get to vote in the AP polls, because there's a season going on. But I would definitely put Arkansas in. Well, I should say I guess I need to study things, but my feeling right now is I would rank Arkansas in my preseason top 25, because I just think they have a really nice mixture of talent overall and experience, and some young guys coming in, and they obviously have height, which they lacked last season. But they also have a lot of good perimeter players. They have a 6'6" point guard in Jalen Tate, transferred from Northern Kentucky. And last year that probably would have made Tate their center with Atriel Bailey. And of course, it's interesting. They have 10 newcomers, but 3 of those guys, 6 of them have previous college experience. 3 of them are graduate transfers who have just played a ton of games. I think they've played close to 300 combined games. And then they have 3 guys who played quite a bit of college ball who redshirted. So, they had a year to get used to the system and get used to these teammates. So it's a different kind of mix than normally they have in 10 newcomers. But I just really like the combination they have of older guys, younger guys, big guys. They have their big guys can shoot the three pretty well. It looks like it won't be uncommon if they have 5 guys on the court who all can shoot threes. Which to me that makes them very dangerous. Even if you got 7'3" Connor Vanover out there, he can shoot a three. 6'9" Vance Jackson can shoot a three. Certainly 6'7" Justin Smith can. We know Isaiah can. Desi Sills can. So they have a lot of different options. Whether it's front line, back court. I just really like this team. But it's like Eric said, they've got a lot to prove. Potential is great, but they have to do it on the court now.
And when you look at it across the SEC, I mean, obviously Arkansas's got a loaded roster. You've seen the recruiting class that Kentucky's brought in, along with the transfers. I believe LSU had 2 or 3 of their top scorers return back. When you look at the whole SEC, I think next season could be arguably one of the best seasons of SEC basketball that the conference has ever seen, just for talent alone. Do you agree or disagree with that?
No, I think the SEC is really loaded. I can't remember if you mentioned Tennessee, but yeah, I think you're going to see Tennessee, Kentucky, Arkansas all be in a lot of people's top 25. You're right. LSU had some guys test the water, and then they're coming back. LSU's always going to have a lot of talent. Kentucky, they're losing a lot of guys to the draft, but they always bring in a great class. And, I know John Calipari's not real popular with the rest of the SEC, but you got to say the guy does an incredible job every year of taking freshmen, granted really talented freshmen, but he does a really great job of getting those guys to buy in and play unselfishly for the most part. And I don't think that's an easy thing to do. He probably doesn't get enough credit for it. It's a lot of talent, but still you got to getting those guys to play unselfishly. I think it's it takes a lot of really good coaching. And so, yeah, I think the SEC, Florida's, lost some guys that maybe you didn't expect, but they've got talent too. So I think top to bottom, it's kind of like football now. I mean, the SEC top to bottom is really, really good, and there really aren't going to be any gimmies in basketball, I don't think.
Just a little bit more time here with Bob Holt as we get set for this press conference that Sam Pittman is undertaking today. Bob, I think the most useless preseason poll in the history of polls came out today, and that's the preseason coaches poll for Division I college football. This is before all players have been given the opportunity to opt out, and coaches are telling us what the top 25 teams look like. I don't think anybody has a clue what the top 25 teams are going to be no matter what. And sure, we need the conversation. We absolutely need it, but this is about as useless of a poll as we could find. I think in 2 weeks, when we have a better idea of who's opting out of the season, then we'll have an idea of what the upcoming season will look like as far as, who your favorites are and who your bottom feeders are going to be.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize the coaches' poll was coming out today, but you think with everything going on, it might behoove them, USA Today and the coaches to say, hey, let's put this off for a little while. I think the world's going to be okay if we delay the poll, or maybe they want to maybe it's real big to be one of the first ones out there. I mean, obviously you've got the summer magazine polls that all are sort of, I don't want to say they're useless, but they're kind of dated at this point with everything that's going on. Because, yeah, especially a lot of star players who feel like they're going to be first-round draft picks, it won't be a surprise if they opt out. Some of them already have. And I can't really blame them, And I think South Carolina had a couple offensive linemen. I'm not sure if they were starters or backups or what, but I saw that on Twitter today that a couple offensive linemen at South Carolina are going to opt out. And I tell you, I hope fans won't blame these guys because they're doing what they feel is right, and they want to, take care of themselves and their families. And I don't think anybody should be upset at a player who decides to opt out. I think it's just something it's just the decision everybody's got to make for themselves. That being said, I think when you look at these SEC schools, the Power 5 schools that have so many resources and so much money to do all this testing, which frankly, the mid-majors and the Division II and Division III schools, they really don't have those kind of financial resources. But I would think if I was a parent, my son would be safer on campus, with the athletic department. And I'm not trying to carry water for him or whatever, but, they've got all this, medical support staff and doctors, and, they can pretty much probably get tested about any time they need to, and they have a structured system. I think if a guy opts out, obviously he's not practicing and playing and being in close contact as football players are going to be. But if he goes home, I don't know how much safer he is. I mean, obviously it depends on how he leads his life and how careful he is about, avoiding big crowds and wearing masks and social distancing, all these kinds of things. But I really think the schools, from what I can tell, have done about as good a job as you could under the circumstances of trying to make sure their athletes stay safe.
Bob, appreciate your time, your thoughts as always. Have a good presser and have a good weekend. Talk next week.
Okay, you guys take care. Be safe.
Thanks, Bob.
Absolutely. Bob Holt, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. And we'll come back. We'll wrap up the first hour of halftime right after this. Get with us at 877-377-6963. Right back.
Do you own apartment complexes, condos, and rental property? Then you have made a great investment. Now make another great decision by calling Trinity Multifamily to help you maximize your return. Trinity Multifamily offers full-service property management, marketing, leasing, sales, and all the services to make your cash flow. Take the hassles and frustrations out of ownership and call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Summertime is here. Let Art's Barbecue and Burgers keep you out of the kitchen with their great barbecue and burgers. $1 off all burgers every Saturday. All you can eat catfish on Fridays. And don't forget the ribs, pork sandwiches, and all the sides. Art's Barbecue and Burgers is following all the health guidelines in keeping you safe. Dine in or drive through available Tuesday through Saturday. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, helping your summer to be better. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, next to Aaron's on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above can make that driveway and fence look brand new with a good power washing. You don't have to put up with those unwanted pests either. Call today and get started with the flea, tick, and mosquito treatment to start enjoying the outdoors again. More than just a mowing service. They're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea, tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
Business owners, if your carpets and floors show the effects of too much foot traffic, call the professionals at your local Service Master Clean. Whether it's janitorial cleaning or specialty cleaning to eliminate dirt and grime from carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors, no job is too big or too small. Service Master Clean has been an industry leader for more than 60 years. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or ServiceMasterPC.com.
Hey, this is David Owen with Ouachita Farms. We grow hemp in Central Arkansas and process it into full-spectrum CBD products. Ouachita Farms products are affordably priced and available online or conveniently located at nearly 200 stores across the state. All Ouachita Farms CBD products are tested at C-Pill Labs in Little Rock to ensure that you will always get what you expect. Find us online today and use this code at checkout.
Ouachita Farms! Go to OuachitaFarms.com and use code WPS15 at checkout of your purchase.
You name the speed and get all you need. Only $50 a month. If your business has been experiencing some lag in its internet service, Pinnacle is here to help. With the most reliable fiber network, Pinnacle delivers a faster, seamless connection so you can focus on what matters most, your customers. Now for a limited time, choose any speed and pay only $50 a month for 3 months. Don't wait long. Call Pinnacle today or visit pinnacletelecom.com. Some restrictions apply, 36-month agreement required.
This is ESPN 95.3. This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
6 seconds remain. Madden puts it up. Wow! What a finish! Bobby Portis, the magic man, arrives just in time. The tip-in and zeros on the clock.
Still no SEC football schedule released. And, man, we're waiting on this. That's right. Bell's on. We are anticipating it anytime, but Sam Pittman's talking to the media right now, and he doesn't know what his schedule looks like. So a little bit difficult to answer questions about what you think your schedule looks like when you don't have 20% of it planned.
Well, at least he can talk about players, though. He can talk about what he's seen in practice a little bit so far. You can see that full press conference later here on today. Our man Andy Hodges will get that taken care of for you on hitthatline.com. We'll have it across all our social media channels. And tomorrow we'll have some sound from that as well.
So you saw the NCAA came out with their guidelines for competition, and all the schools now have got to allow players the ability to opt out and still retain their scholarships. Not allowed to force them or ask them to sign COVID-19 waiver forms, and all schools are on the hook for any COVID-related medical expenses that are inferred or incurred by the student-athletes during the season or in the years after. So there's more of a financial burden placed on the schools, and that doesn't even have anything to do with the testing that they're all going to have to pay for it. And I've kind of wondered about this a little, and I understand that the television networks already pay the conferences for access to the games and the right to air the games. But I wonder if the case has been made to the networks that if they stand to lose millions of dollars if these games are not played, then what about the networks helping out a little bit with the financial aspects to testing? You know what I mean? I mean, they've already, and I don't know what the financial considerations are for the NBA and MLS to hold their bubble tournaments inside ESPN's Wide World of Sports. But obviously Disney has made certain concessions, or they've put themselves on the hook financially for certain things going on in sports. And if the football season matters that much to ESPN, why wouldn't they do something to help their partners pay for the necessary tests? SEC players are going to be tested 3 times a week. I saw they're going to be tested Saturdays, I think it was Sundays, and I forget the other day, but there are 3 days a week that they're tested. Of course, you're going to bookend the day that you have the competition with a test. I mean, you're talking about millions of dollars that you're spending here that at some schools maybe it really isn't that much money to them, but to a lot of other schools, boy, it really would be, and ESPN still airs those games. And then the other aspect, too, is remember ESPN owns most of the bowls. They air almost all of them. I would imagine you've got to create some sort of a bubble structure around a bowl game. So who's paying for that? If ESPN owns the bowls, they're going to be paying for that. They'll be on the hook for it. I just think that if the TV networks are going to lose so much money if games aren't played, then put a little more than a best foot forward, help fund the testing.
Definitely seems like that, and it's something that that's an idea I haven't thought of. And that's something that probably should be at the forefront of this, because the schools are going to lose money, obviously, but if it's, like you said, if it's that important, which it is to those guys, then do their part and help these schools out. And there's a big difference between, I'll assume, between the athletic budgets between, say, Vanderbilt and Alabama. Because probably
it's a different situation.
Different situation and everything, but I mean, just say if it's $1 million to test, that's probably pocket change for University of Alabama.
Well, it's pocket change for Vanderbilt, too. Just a matter of how much money do they put towards athletics compared to the rest of the school.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the richest schools in the conference when you're talking about their endowment. I mean, again, maybe this isn't the kind of thing where SEC schools have to worry about the cost too much, but like an Arkansas State, most Sun Belt schools, if not all of them. The Conference USA schools, the MAC schools, these are the other conferences that are trying to figure out how they're going to schedule games. The Sun Belt wants to play 4 non-conference games. That's opening up a little extra risk for the virus to get into your locker room and onto the campus. So, ESPN televises all those games too. It would just make sense. If you're really a partner in business, well, do everything you possibly can to make sure that such business gets taken care of.
Chandler in Fayetteville brought up a good question. Are they going to test regular students on campus as well if they are indeed allowed back onto campus? We don't know the answers to that, but you would think that that's something that they might do.
Yeah, but that's a lot of
money.
That's even more testing.
Absolutely.
Here. That turns into exponentially more money.
Yeah.
Based upon 24,000 undergraduate students or whatever, plus the staff members and faculty and other people that work on campus. I don't know really how feasible that is, and yet here it is. We're 2 weeks away, and everybody's about to return to campus. And I know it's a whole other situation, but just look next door to the soccer field at Razorback at the athletic complex. What's right across the street from the soccer field? That's Fayetteville High School, where students are now going to be mandated by the state to be in class 5 days a week. I don't know how often Fayetteville High students come into contact with Razorback student athletes, but, man, they are right across the street from each other in many cases with 2 totally different situations going on. No bubble either way. And it does have the sense of a little bit of a disaster. Who knows? But at least, SmackDown, you can get some delicious wings at B-Dubs, right?
Great segue, yeah. Yeah, head over to Buffalo Wild Wings. Fantasy football season is just around the corner. You can stay saucy and give the draft party what they want, and that is Buffalo Wild Wings. They have fantasy football bundles awaiting for your arrival. They got the bubble bundle starting at $29.99. They've got the TVs that can make your draft party happen. Today is also Boneless Thursdays. Buy one, get one free. Head over to Buffalo Wild Wings here in the River Valley. We'll be right back with more Halftime.
You have work to do. You need a tractor that helps get it done. TYM has the full range of tractors designed to meet the task. With the TYM easy-to-use controls and features, switching from one job to another is easy. And with the full range of models from 19 horsepower to 105 horsepower turbo, there is a TYM tractor that's right for the job and for you. But you can't buy a TYM tractor just anywhere. It's only sold at authorized TYM dealers like Bush Tractor, 7301 South Zero, Fort Smith.
Dee's Family Restaurant of Alma at 39 Column Lane across from the water park is now reopened and ready to serve you. We're open 5:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. Breakfast is served all day and our full menu is available at 10:30 a.m. All-you-can-eat steak on Thursday night, cooked order prime rib on Friday night, and now we deliver on Waiter. Curbside and to-go is still available. Call ahead 632-1014.
Wave Rural Connect is bringing state-of-the-art fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. Get amazing fast fiber internet, 100 megabits for only $49.95 per month, or 1 gigabit for only $79.95 per month. TV packages from the basics to our amazing altered TV, starting at $32.95. Fiber phone services start at $29.95. Go to waveruralconnect.com to find out if we are installing in your area, or call 1-833-4-WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
New Bud Light Seltzer, huh?
Yep.
And it tastes like a hard seltzer, not a beer?
Yep.
So it's light and refreshing?
Yep.
With a hint of fruit flavor?
Yep.
And 100 calories?
Yep.
You said this is Bud Light Seltzer?
Yep.
Well, I need to try it.
Yep.
Oh, that tastes great.
Yep.
Now, wait, are you just yupping me?
Nope.
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beers, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
We should remain clear to partly cloudy tonight, and overnight low will drop down into the low 60s. Partly to mostly sunny for Thursday with a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm early. Our high will be in the mid to upper 80s, and then Friday could see some scattered showers and storms, highs near 90. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson. Make sure to listen to The Morning Rush every weekday morning from 6 to 9 on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
It's fast. It's exciting.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime, coming at you from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3.
You guys are awesome, baby. You have these guys, ESPN in Arkansas. They do a good job.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
You
want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it! Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play!
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
All right, as we get into our second hour of the show, don't forget Paul Biancardi joins us 30 minutes away. He is the director of ESPN's basketball recruiting. And, of course, if you're talking recruiting, you're talking Arkansas doing it in so many ways. Transfers, true freshmen, even now trying to extend the reach into Australia with the hiring of David Patrick. So should be a fun conversation with Coach Biancardi later on. If you got any questions for him, you can filter them through us at 877-377-6963. Yesterday, the NCAA allowed the separate divisions to make their decisions on whether or not to hold fall championships, and the President's Councils of Divisions 3 and Divisions 2 at SmackDown must have had their minds made up before the NCAA communicated to everybody else, because it was, about an hour after the announcement, all Division 2, all Division 3 fall championships, including football championships, were canceled. So Division 1 is the only level that still, for now, has fall championships on the schedule. Of course, this does not count FBS football and the college football playoff. There had already been a number of Division III and Division II leagues that have canceled their seasons outright. But there are still some that are holding on to the hope of playing, and I haven't seen any news about the Division II conference that the Arkansas schools play in, the GAC. There's no communication as to whether or not they're going to play a season or not. But if they do, there's no national championship to play for, just conference championship.
Not really surprised that this has come across. And like we mentioned yesterday, and I think it's important to restate it again, the difference of the financial model between these schools and the University of Arkansas, for example. There's a big difference between Arkansas Tech's athletic budget and how they run the program and how it's funded versus how Arkansas is funded.
I don't see no Division II or Division III program
is going under.
Makes money.
No.
They lose money by playing football. That's completely antithetical to what happens in Division I. Like, UConn would have lost money by playing this upcoming season. They don't have a conference to get any money from bowl bids for other leagues or for other teams or anything else. They don't have bye games that they can make money off of. Nobody can this year. UConn would have lost a ton of money by playing football. So, I mean, this was also a financial decision that I think was made in the same vein as D2 and D3.
Absolutely. I'm not surprised by it, and it's something you knew was coming. And for the keeping along that same factor, with UConn probably losing money off of football season, I would be curious, how does NCAA come out in this for Division II and Division III championship series? Obviously, they make money, I would figure, but like, how much are they realistically planning on losing at this point when you look at the respects of D2 and D3?
Well,
which, I mean, it's apples and oranges compared to what we're all worried about here with Division I football and Division I sports. It sucks, but I mean, it doesn't necessarily with this happening. And I believe, what was it? If more than 50% of the eligible teams cancel their season, like this, the sport's just done outright, right? Am I correct in saying that? So if
that's what I gathered too. And I mean, at that point, who can schedule who, right?
Right. I can't remember where I heard it. I think I saw it on Twitter or something like that, but I believe it was UCA said that if it did get to that point, they would do their best to try to put together some semblance of a football season, which that could easily end up being like if the GAC opts out and they just decide, you know what, we're not going to do it.
They apply for membership in the AAA for 1 year, right? Like be a graduate senior high school for a year. If you're really going to piece together a schedule, that might be the only option they've got.
The only option, but then you could maybe even piece together a schedule, combine those GAC schools, particularly in Arkansas.
Ooh, relive
UCA,
some old rivalries. You can
reduce
get
some old school
that
goals.
UCA
Yeah.
Arkansas Tech rivalry that went away years ago.
Absolutely. So, which that's probably far down the line, but there again, hell, everything up to this point has just been bonkers crazy anyway, so why not just throw it in the tank anyway?
Well, and it just leads me to wonder, why are the Division I schools even in the same umbrella organization as Division II and Division III? I feel like we're seeing reasons why it doesn't make sense now. And you separate them into 3 divisions because of those financial differences. But when a pandemic like this occurs, and look, hopefully this is a once-in-a-life occurrence for all of us, they're all operating by completely separate standards, financial models, and it being under the same umbrella organization to me doesn't really make a lot of sense. But hey, as of now, big-time college football still hoping to play for a national championship. You know, if the College Football Playoff Committee would be like the last to cancel their tournament in late December or early January, is going to be a series of Division I schools that may end up canceling the season, and you see what can cobble together if you can even have a playoff or a Final Four or a Final Eight. But with this schedule released by the ACC, I mean, look, Clemson. How many years in a row has Clemson won the ACC now? Is it 5 years in a row? I mean, it's like
sounds right.
You don't even pencil them in for the ACC championship. You write it in Sharpie when the season begins. I mean, they're already the preseason pick by the coaches in the meaningless preseason poll, the meaningless preseason pandemic poll, to see who's got the best, because I don't think you really have any idea once the real rosters actually are put together following the opt-outs. But Clemson's toughest game. They do have a couple of tough road matchups. They go to Notre Dame on November 7th and then get a week after that to visit Florida State. So Clemson has at Wake Forest, Virginia, Miami at home, at Georgia Tech, Syracuse, Boston College at home, at Notre Dame, at Florida State, Pitt at home. That hasn't always gone well for Clemson, by the way. Pitt coming to Death Valley, and at Virginia Tech. And Clemson still does not have a non-conference game scheduled. There are a couple of ACC teams who haven't had their non-conference game figured out yet. North Carolina and Clemson are the two that I'm talking about here. But obviously, the ACC had left the one extra game open in case the SEC would have made the decision to do the conference plus one. But pretty much here, Western Kentucky's in on a couple of these schedules. Pitt plays Miami, Ohio. Syracuse will face off against Liberty. That's how Liberty's putting a season together. Virginia gets VMI. Not the most exciting games in the world. Virginia gets Liberty, or Virginia Tech gets Liberty, so they're taking advantage of having another D1 school inside the state borders.
Know what I wish we'd have seen with this schedule? Notre Dame versus Miami.
Which, of course, you didn't get.
You didn't get.
For years it would have been. Notre Dame's ACC schedule is Duke, then Western Michigan, their one non-conference game, at Wake, Florida State, Louisville at home. Notre Dame visits Pitt and Georgia Tech, at Clemson in South Bend, at Boston College, at North Carolina, and then finish out the season with Syracuse. So, it's not the easiest schedule in the world for Notre Dame.
But they get Clemson at home.
Interesting matchups there. They get Clemson at home. Louisville should be
Florida State
decent
at home
this year. I don't know how good Florida State's going to be in the first year under Mike Norvell, but I do think Clemson's got, well, hey, it's a tougher schedule than usual. I mean, how good is South Carolina going to be this year? You know, that's usually where Clemson finishes the season. But if they're looking for a non-conference matchup, hey, I hear Charleston Southern is looking for a game.
Arkansas State might be as well.
Right, that's right. They'd have to make the trip to South Carolina. Charleston Southern makes a lot of sense.
That would make a lot of, yeah.
That makes a ton of sense. If and I don't remember what that team name is called. Yeah, Porter reminds us the Citadel would make a lot of sense if they've kept the hopes of their season alive. So here it is. You got, 3-4 weeks before the start of the season, and in some cases 5 weeks until these games are played. Yeah, 5 weeks from now, Clemson is supposed to play this non-conference opponent. It's not scheduled yet. But, hey, BYU has already scheduled Navy for their opening game this year, so you can put together a season in shotgun manner. You're going to have to do it this year at some point. Let's see. Go to hitthatline.com and click on the Win a Hammock link at the top of the page. And you're going to see that you have a chance to enter for a beautiful hammock brought to you by Big Creek Trading Company. Just enter your name and your email address, and it is as simple as that. This isn't just a regular average old hammock. This is a Sky Pod with a lounger hanging chair.
Ooh.
So I think you could call this a sitting experience. Sounds like fun. And we'll come back after this.
Billy Ray Smith Jr. with us here on the Morning Rush. Do you still keep up with the Razorbacks?
No, it's no different. Man, once you're a hog, dog. Come on. That's just the way it is. You check the scores, you try to get some highlights, and that's the first thing. And mostly, the only thing I check on is how my Razorbacks did.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Tommy Craft for the Fitzman.
Furniture August back-to-school sale. We are giving away this USA-made custom leather sectional on August 31st at 4:30 p.m. Must come in to register. In August, discounts on all furniture and mattresses to our finance and cash customers.
You can't discount and give away furniture.
I'll do what I want to do.
I still run this show. I just let her think she does. It was my idea in the first place.
What'd you say?
Nothing, honey. Frank Rowe Furniture. Best seats in the house.
Franco Furniture August back.
Let us take the wheel and get your car repaired so you are ready to roll when the time comes. We offer pickup and delivery and will sanitize your vehicle during your complimentary detail that is done with all repairs. Don't want to get out at all? We have you covered. We offer a mobile estimating tool that allows you to take a few pictures and we will email or text your estimate directly to you. Check out our website or Facebook for more details.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Franco Furniture August back-to-school sale. We are giving away this USA-made custom leather sectional on August 31st at 4:30 p.m. Must come in to register. In August, discounts on all furniture and mattresses to our finance and cash customers.
You can't discount and give away furniture.
I'll do what I want to do.
I still run this show. I just let her think she does. It was my idea in the first place.
What'd you say?
Nothing, honey. Frank Rowe Furniture. Best seats in the house.
Farmers, hobby farmers, and landowners, your time is important. Make the most out of that time with a brand new Branson tractor from Bush Machine & Tractor in Fort Smith. With tractors from 19 to 105 horsepower, we have a tractor that will fit your needs. Ask Bush Machine & Tractor about their special financing options and free loader rebates. Bush Machine & Tractor in Fort Smith is Arkansas's #1 Branson dealer. Check their inventory at bushtractor.com.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. It's a difficult time right now, and social distancing is vitally important. That's why I'm here to encourage you to keep running. It's a great way to exercise in solitude, build up your immune system, and keep from going stir crazy. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more tips on how to take care of yourself during this time. And remember, just keep running. This has been brought to you by True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, now open Tuesday through Saturday. Still serving all the 906 specialty items, with new menu items including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, dine in or carry out, wines, top shelf spirits, and handcrafted cocktails and cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels more like a destination, following all of the state guidelines in a state-of-the-art air filtration system for your safety. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open Tuesday through Saturday at 4 p.m.
This time of year is hectic, and we know you have things to do and places to be. Southern Tire Mart can help you get there and save you money on America's most trusted brands like Michelin and B.F. Goodrich. Take advantage of our $29.95 oil change, which includes a 27-point vehicle inspection. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith today for quality Michelin and B.F. Goodrich tires and the best-in-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin, B.F. Goodrich, and Southern Tire Mart.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Shot clock's at 10. Jones forces a three, and it goes anyway. Wow, Mason Jones with a three. Arkansas's up 67-62. Archie Miller wants a timeout with 2:01 to go.
All right, it's a Thursday on Halftime, and we've got Paul Biancardi in 15 minutes to do some college basketball recruiting talk and certainly get his thoughts on what he thinks Arkansas will look like in this upcoming season. Seth Davis had put out his preseason top 25 basketball poll, and again, that's way too early, but he's got Arkansas at number 26. Right out of the top 25, has them number 1 in the next 10. So, start the hateful tweets towards Seth Davis, SmackDown. I know you're full of hateful tweets.
Come on, Seth.
Baseball yesterday. All right.
Baseball.
How do I start this? Do I start with a good team or a bad team, SmackDown?
We got to start off with our new tradition here on Halftime.
How bad are the Pirates today?
How bad are they? That's audience. This is what we need audience.
We needed y'all for that. Where were you?
I've got an easy answer for you. They're as bad as they were yesterday.
So they lost yesterday?
They lost their 7th in a row to the Twins. They're now 2-11. Play the crowd goes crazy for the worst team in baseball history. They lost to admittedly a really good Minnesota Twins team. Randy Dobnak shut them down for 7 innings. It was a 1-0 score until Minnesota explodes for 4 in the 9th. Pirates answer with 2 in the bottom of the 9th, lose 5-2. Managed just 4 hits for the game, and that's the 7th game out of 11 played this year, or 13 this year, where the Pirates have scored 3 runs or less. So my favorite / least favorite team in baseball continues to do what they do so well, which is suck. All right, so that's how bad the Pirates are today. They will continue to be bad because they play the Twins again, which will make it 8 straight losses.
You don't even sound put out during this. You just sound like it's just what it is at this point. That's fantastic.
It's just a fact. If baseball's being played, the Pirates are going to lose. I don't care if it's a shortened season or not. You know what also hasn't changed? The Cubs right now cannot be beat.
Yep. Cubs win 6-1. They're 10-2 to start the season.
And it's starting pitching that is doing it for the Chicago Cubs. Yesterday it was Yu Darvish. Darvish, of course, last year finished the season incredibly, and he's just continued to pile it on here. 7 innings, struck out 7, 5 hits, 1 run, and only 1 walk. So the Cubs actually right now have one of the worst bullpens statistically in baseball, but their starting pitching has been maybe the best in baseball. And if you're David Ross, first-year manager, and, of course, a former Major League catcher, you know the value of having a solid starting rotation.
When you get that starting pitching that goes that deep, just really shortens the outing from the bullpen, and we've got a bunch of weapons down there that we can mix and match how we like the matchup. So when you're getting 7 in today's game, I think that's a long outing, and these guys are going deep and really to a man. They've really been hitting their stride on the back end of that. So that's really rewarding. It makes I think our job as a team a lot easier, and like you said, when you're working backwards, it makes it a lot more convenient for me to make decisions.
So check out the numbers here on the Cubs starters. Chicago's rotation has an ERA of 1.95, and they have allowed 12 fewer base runners, 62, than innings pitched, 74. That's amazing, even over a 12-game stretch. Truly amazing. But there are some questions for this rotation, and I think it centers around two pitchers specifically. Now, Kyle Hendricks has shown he's a guy that's just going to fill the strike zone, force batters to get themselves out. He's a legitimate top-of-the-line starting pitcher in the majors. Yu Darvish is back to doing what he was doing during his great years with the Texas Rangers. And John Lester, you could probably count on Lester for a solid season. The questions for the Cubs starting rotation center around Alec Mills and journeyman right-hander Tyler Chatwood, who I had with the Travelers for one season. Mills has been terrific, but he's only made 19 Major League Baseball appearances before this year. So over his first two starts, he's won them both, giving up 2 runs in 13 innings. Can that last? And then there's Chatwood, who the last time he was a full-time starting pitcher in the 2018 season held a .530 ERA for the Cubs. His career earned run average is .433, so sooner or later he's going to regress to the mean. I don't think he can continue to be as dominant as he is, where he's given up 1 run in 12 2/3 innings with 19 strikeouts. So the Cub bullpen is going to have to pick it up a little bit, and right now they're lost, and nobody has been more lost, maybe in the entire game, than the guy who, until I think last year, had the lowest recorded career ERA for a lifetime reliever, which is Craig Kimbrell. Kimbrell can't even find the strike zone. He's walked 4 batters, hit 1, and thrown a wild pitch in 1 2/3 innings. So he's put 5 base runners on without a hit out of the 14 men he's faced. And I think without a healthy Craig Kimbrell, I don't know if the Cubs can really piece this bullpen together to keep the sort of dominance that they've run up against of late. Especially, I do think Milwaukee will be trolling behind them and get a little closer than they are now. Milwaukee's better than the 4-5 record they've started with. But we got a text yesterday from a listener that says, "When are you going to talk about my Cubs?"
Oh,
there he is.
He already texted in.
Brandon, I did that for you. I don't want you to think that I'm all Cubs hateful. So
we're here for the people.
That's right. We're here for you. We're here for first-place team in the Chicago Cubs. Elsewhere in Major League Baseball, I did watch the White Sox and the Brewers yesterday, and I even got a Woo Pig Suey on the Brewers radio broadcast. You remember we had Jeff Levering on the air a couple weeks ago, one of the broadcasters for the Brewers. Well, I texted him at in the first inning yesterday of the game against the White Sox because it was the all-Razorback battery of Dallas Keuchel and James McCann. The second time they've worked together. I think maybe the third time they've worked together this year, but it's the first all-Razorback Major League Baseball battery. And I told Levering I'd give him $10 if he dropped a Woo Pig on the air. I told him I'd give him $5,000 if he did a WFPS.
Did he put his big boy pants on and do it?
He did not put on his big boy pants. All he did was drop in the Woo Pig, and I got to Venmo him $10. And by the way, Keuchel got tough lucked. 7 innings, 8 hits, 1 run was really good, but allowed a single and an RBI to Eric Sogard in the third. McCann was 0 for 3, and a 1-0 hard luck loss to the Brewers for Dallas Keuchel.
We need to get some audio from Jeff. We need to get that audio in the system.
Well, I'll see if I can get Levo to send it our way. It is a little bit odd when you hear Woo Pig on a Milwaukee radio station.
How did he do? What, like, scale of 1?
He didn't call the Hogs. He just said, I guess we got to get a little Woo Pig in there.
No, I'm not a hog call, but like, was it just a pitiful Woo Pig, or did he go Woo Pig, baby, like something like that?
No, it was more like we've got to get a Woo Pig in, is what he said.
Oh, okay.
That's how he put it. And then on the White Sox telecast, which I watched too, they showed Keuchel and McCann on the mound in Razorback gear with Dave Van Horn up there, and talked about McCann's famous home run against LSU, the walk-off shot. So a lot of Razorback talk on the airwaves in the Midwest yesterday, and that was fun to be watching it. Speaking of former Razorbacks, Brian Anderson helped lead the Marlins to a doubleheader sweep of Baltimore, 2 for 6, a home run, 2 RBIs. The red-hot first-place Marlins, 5-1. Ha!
Wow.
Anderson's hitting .263 with a couple of homers and 5 RBIs in the 6 games that the Marlins have played. Jalen Beeks did throw a scoreless inning for Tampa in the doubleheader. Some injuries that have come out here. Shohei Ohtani, he may not pitch the rest of the year. The Angels' two-way player dealing with a grade 2 flexor strain in his right arm. Max Scherzer left yesterday's game against the Phillies due to a hamstring issue, and they end up losing 1-0 to. They end up losing to Rick Porcello, who wins his 150th career victory. The Nationals going to be a little got to be nervous. They don't have Strasburg now. He's been out for the first couple of weeks with a nerve problem in his pitching hand, and now Scherzer's down with a hamstring issue. Braves lost shortstop Ozzie Albies, Matt Adams, and Mike Soroka to injury. Soroka, one of the best pitchers in the game, tore his ACL fielding his position a couple of days ago. The Pirates lost their interim closer, Nick Birdeye, so even if they have a lead in the ninth inning smackdown, they can't hold it. And then Rich Hill is on the IL for the Twins with shoulder fatigue. So the Pirates should be playing right now, SmackDown. Yeah, they are. They're on their way to their 8th consecutive loss. They are tied 3-3 with the Twins in the third inning.
Hey, game's still young, my friend.
Game's still young, so there's plenty of time for Minnesota to score 1,000 runs until the 9th inning is done, and the Pirates to actually lose the 3 runs that they've scored.
You've got to have faith in this.
I have faith that the Pirates will lose. Is
Said
that
it
good
wrong.
enough for you?
You got to have
Fita.
Ooh. Oh, crap, I hit the wrong.
Close enough.
Well done. Matty T will be performing at 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge tonight, but he should. You need to go to 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge on Facebook, and you can find who is performing tonight. It's Mark Albertson Trio, 7 to 10. Terry Bailey, Happy Hour, 4 to 7. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge open till midnight tonight, opening at 4. And, of course, they are keeping the air and environment fresh. So go over 906 Cocktail Cigar Lounge in Fort Smith.
With 100% fiber, internet, voice, and cloud services from Ritter Communications. Whether you're a one-man woodworking shop who needs fast, reliable internet complete with TV service, or you're a construction enterprise needing managed voice and networking to connect your multiple sites, our helpful, Arkansas-based team will create a custom solution for you. Visit RitterBusiness.com or give them a call at 888-336-4249 to learn more.
Hey, this is David Owen with Ouachita Farms. We grow hemp in Central Arkansas and process it into full-spectrum CBD products. Ouachita Farms products are affordably priced and available online or conveniently located at nearly 200 stores across the state. All Ouachita Farms CBD products are tested at C-Pill Labs in Little Rock to ensure that you will always get what you expect. Find us online today and use this code at checkout.
Ouachita Farms! Go to WouachitaFarms.com and use code WPS15 at checkout of your purchase.
Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith is now open for dine-in, curbside to go, and delivery for both lunch and dinner, 7 days a week. TGI Fridays is taking your safety seriously, following every guideline. Enjoy Fridays favorites like appetizers, burgers, sandwiches, salads, all the great Fridays, signature entrees, kids meals, and great desserts. TGI Fridays, now open for dine-in, curbside to go, and delivery. Call 479-484-0906. That's 484-0906. Or order online at Fridays.com. Your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
Tri-Hill Turf offers the highest quality turf and pest services. Hey, you say those are big words. Well, let's see. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has a company agronomist, state and nationally certified technicians, free soil testing, and they even have precision GPS guided application equipment. Now that's high tech. For over 30 years, Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has used the latest application technology, and they strive for turf and pest excellence. They are your local turf and pest experts. Call the local team at 782-0404. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest.
We're now living in uncharted waters with the spread of COVID-19. With the partial closing of a lot of businesses, sadly, some will soon try and turn your possessions into their possessions. Guardtronic has been providing security for homes and businesses for over 60 years. Whether you need a camera system to keep an eye on things or a complete home security system, call Guardtronic 479-785-2323 or go online to guardtronic.com. We have so many worries these days, safety should not be one of them. License E50.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
After falling to the Los Angeles Lakers in the 1982 NBA Finals, the 76ers needed to find the right player to build the ultimate winning team. In September of '82, they acquired restricted free agent Moses Malone. They went on to rack up a 65-17 regular season record and followed that up with a 12-1 postseason record. Malone won the regular season and NBA Finals MVP award.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
Adding a leader you need right when you need them. That's how sports teams get ahead and how your business can too. LinkedIn will match the right talent with your open roles fast. Post a job and you'll get great candidates with the right mix of skills, interest, and experience. So every hire you make is a win for your business. Go to linkedin.com/sports and get $50 off your first job post. That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
ESPN Arkansas and Big Creek Trading want to help you relax during these dog days of summer. Relax in style in a sky pod from Eno Hammocks and a lounger hanging chair including hammock and stand from Big Creek Trading Company, valued at $450. Imagine how much better summer will look from your own sky pod or lounger hanging chair. Get to hitthatline.com to register or stop by Big Creek Trading Company before August 14th. Stop sweating the dog days of summer with Big Creek Trading Company and hitthatline.com. This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, City!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Baseline drive. Sills feeds Joe left corner. Step back. 3 on the way from Isaiah. Perfect. Nothing but the bottom for Joe. And the Hawks are up 45-28.
I've been saying he's the best shooter in the country.
Pretty good place to bring on our new guest here, Paul Biancardi, the National Recruiting Director for ESPN. And, of course, as we come into this segment with a highlight of Isaiah Joe, best shooter in the country, and he just made the announcement a few days ago he's going to be back with Arkansas. So, Coach B, good to have you on today. How's it going? How are you?
Good, thanks. I'm great. Thank you guys for having me. I love talking basketball.
Absolutely. Yeah, we like talking basketball, too, instead of a whole bunch of ifs, if we're going to play and all that kind of stuff. So let's ask about this recruiting dead period, which I think feels like it's going to go on indefinitely. Richard Davenport, who I know is a friend of yours, had told me that he believes this dead period may last until a vaccine is found. So I wonder what you think in the people that you've spoken to as they've had to adjust to a completely different way to recruit. How long do you think the NCAA will continue to go with this dead recruiting period?
Well, I don't know if I can put a finite date on it. I think what happens is each month as we approach, the first of every month, they look ahead to what it can be like in the month ahead or the next 2 months. And each time they get to a certain period, they continue to extend the dead period. Now we're right now till August 31st. I think it's a good chance it's going to get delayed September and October. November technically starts the high school season throughout the country. Each state starts at a different time. Each school, private, independent, or public, they have different time periods when they start, if they start. So it's hard to know when it will be finite to say, okay, this is when it's going to end. Now, what Richard said could possibly be true. I didn't hear that one yet. And but I just think they're going to take it every 2 weeks to a month cycle and then evaluate whether or not the coaches can go out. I guess before coaches can go out, you got to let students on campus too at the same time for college purposes. And some of these schools, districts, as we know throughout the country, are going to be taking classes online. So that obviously throws a curve into it.
I don't know. A lot of experts that focus on football recruiting have thought that this could be, this year, next year, the toughest classes to figure out, to scout. And the thought is there may be more swings and misses on recruits than before because you can't actually have your eyes on them. They haven't been watching them in 7-on-7s and all the summer camps and everything. And I wonder if you think that there could be the same impact upon the sport of college basketball because of the changes of the ways that coaches have to recruit and the ways that recruits get their highlights in front of coaches.
No question about it. In basketball, the class of 2021 will be the most underevaluated class that I've ever seen, that I even know of in my time, and that's 25 years plus. If you go back in time, recruiting, you could go out a lot more in the past. As years have went on, the NCAA has cut down the evaluation and recruiting window. So now with the COVID situation, everything got shut down, I believe it was around March 10th. Prior to that, if coaches were out during their season, which is difficult to do, but some staffs get out there during the season, especially at Christmas events or Thanksgiving events where there are large tournaments. There was some scouting going on prior to COVID, and I think those kids will continue to get recruited. And some of those kids have made commitments already for in the class of 2021. It's all the other guys that haven't been fully evaluated in 2021, that haven't been seen or not seen enough. They have to be real patient. You're going to see a lot of late recruiting going on, April, May, June, I think all the way July and August for next September. You can't just do it on film alone. Film is a supporting tool. And, for a kid to be evaluated solely on film and not be offered, and to be offered a scholarship, I would find that hard to believe. I think the kids who have committed now, coaches have seen them, but there hasn't been official visit. And a lot of kids are comfortable with the virtual recruiting, but they will visit that school when the time comes, but they're comfortable making a commitment before that.
Speaking to Paul Biancardi here on Halftime, Paul, what do you think with the new associate head coach here at the University of Arkansas, and David Patrick? What kind of pipeline do you think that he could open up to the University of Arkansas with Australian talent making its way to Fayetteville?
Well, we know what he did with Ben Simmons and LSU, and that's all you have to say. Ben was one of the best high school players that I've ever had a chance to evaluate and rank in my 12 years here at ESPN. When he stepped on the court at Montverde as a sophomore, I mean, you could see the talent, you could see the ability to be a star right away as a sophomore. David Patrick has a long resume in the game. It's just not Australia, though he is connected there, and he'll be able to bring some kids over to it, hopefully when time is right to visit. But, he's been a head coach now, and he's been a long-time assistant. He was at St. Mary's. He was at LSU. So I think he brings experience and chemistry, because him and Coach Muss working together at LSU, you can't say enough about what staff chemistry can do to a program. It can really help expedite all the goals that you're trying to reach.
When you look at how this Arkansas roster is set up, I mean, you have the several graduate transfers that came in. You have the 4 stud freshmen that Arkansas signed right before the semester came about. I want to focus more on the freshmen, though, for a sec, because right now this roster's sitting at about 11, 12, 13 guys that could potentially see playing time. Is there a scenario in your mind, because I don't see it happening, but you're the recruiting expert, and I want to ask your opinion. Could any of these 4 freshmen be redshirted this year just to preserve their eligibility, or do you think this is going to be a year where you see all 4 of these freshmen get lots of playing time?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a great question about that, because what happens is you have guys that are ready to play as freshmen, and then you have guys that are graduate transfers coming in like Justin Smith and Vance Jackson. But I don't know if any of those freshmen need to be redshirted. I think that's something Coach Musselman and his staff would probably address with that player come in the fall. I think all these guys can contribute. I really do. They're it's a top 5 recruiting class according to us at ESPN. All these guys can contribute in different ways, and I think this season with so many unknowns, I don't know if you want to make a decision like that quickly. And I think you go into the season thinking everyone can help you. Depth is a wonderful thing, and Coach Muss can play 8, 9 guys, I think, on this year's team coming up. They're a top 25, 30, 35 team, in my opinion. So if you're going to be that good of a team, I think you need to have a strong bench.
You brought up the playing time aspect with possibly an 8, 9, 10-man team lineup. how, in your mind, being a former coach and how and obviously Eric Musselman being successful himself, how is that going to be divvied out as far as minutes? Do you think it's just going to be as simple as practice time, or can you work out a rotation to where everybody gets maybe not necessarily equal minutes, but everybody gets a little piece of the pie and everybody's happy?
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get equal minutes. Some programs do that. You look at Florida State, they play 10 guys, sometimes 11. And when you look at Florida State's minutes, you know, they're double-figure minutes in the high teens to the low 20s. I think in this case, I mean, when you look at Isaiah Joe and you look at Justin Smith and Vance Jackson, those guys are going to get, as many minutes as they can handle. Then you got Jalen Tate, Moses Moody, I think should be a starter, could be a starter in that group. So I think what will happen is I think you can get comfortable with 8, but I think you always have that 9th man ready to go. Maybe he's a guy who can get, 5 or 10 minutes into a game. We don't know what injuries. And with COVID, what happens if somebody gets tested positive now? Nobody's even talking about that, and that person has to sit out for an extended period of time. So I don't think this is a year to redshirt if I was a head coach in college, in my opinion.
I think college basketball might be a little difficult. Now I'm going to get into the COVID stuff a little here. I think it might be difficult to make it through an entire season. Maybe easier than college football just because there aren't that many players on the court and a lot fewer players on a basketball team than on football. But on the nature of the sport, on the idea that I don't think you can create a bubble around college basketball teams the way the NBA has, I've got some trepidation as to what this college basketball season could look like. And, of course, a lot of it has to do with, the infection rate and the numbers, hopefully, and the curve flattening and starting to go downward. But I think we could see a situation where, just like the college football season has changed and is being pushed back in some cases, we could see the same thing with college basketball, too. You've been a head coach. Do you think that it's possible to create some sort of a bubble around a college basketball team?
I think it would be hard. I mean, you're talking about a bubble for a conference, to have conference games, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, first of all, that's really going to be expensive. I was told the NBA bubble and approximately was $150 million for this time in the bubble. And so I don't know who's going to pay that bill on the college level now. I don't think it will be as much. But I think it would be really difficult to have bubbles. That my first thought is that wouldn't happen. My thought for a schedule, whenever that schedule was to initiate, whether they go early or they wait and go late. Conference games, I understand. I'm more into proximity games. For example, when you look at the state of Wisconsin, you have Marquette in Wisconsin. That's a game that should be played. That's a bus trip. There's not a lot of travel. It's easy to do. And even though they're in different conferences, because when you look at, for example, even the Big Ten, Wisconsin going to Rutgers, you're not busing that. You got to fly that. So I don't know if conference games are the complete answer in basketball, because some of the conference with the conference realignment has really spread out conferences. I'd like to see the schedule made up this year based on proximity, where there's less travel involved and maybe less playing trips.
Let's close out on a thought of, these last few months have been very interesting for a number of reasons, and one of them has been the how student athletes now are feeling, I think, empowered to communicate their thoughts on social issues, holding coaches accountable for the way they communicate to their players. We're seeing this in college football a lot, and I wonder, for college basketball, do you think that the high school players, the high school athletes, might feel the same way, and so they're paying attention to the way that these head coaches are dealing with their players and the way that they are allowed to be vocal, use their platform, so to speak, about social issues?
Yeah, I think basketball is going to do the same thing when the time comes as we approach the season. I mean, we're in a day and age where people should be able to express themselves, and they have to act based on how they feel. And there's a lot of feelings going on in the world right now. COVID has created, some mental health issues as well as physical health issues. And the kids want to make sure, and their parents, rightfully so, that they're in a situation where they can be as safe as possible. And with all the social injustice that has went on recently, and the killings, and how that's been brought to light and going to stay that way for a long time until there's change, that's creating another feeling amongst today's adolescents. So this is not going to go away in terms of players being united, and hopefully they'll get united on topics that are important and serious and for the betterment of the world, and at the same time get to play the sport that they love.
It's always fun talking basketball with you, Paul. I really appreciate your time, and hopefully as we approach basketball season, hopefully it starts on time, and we can do this again. Thanks again.
Thanks, Paul.
All right, thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. Coach Paul Biancardi, he is the director of ESPN National Basketball Recruiting, and it's good to have him on today. You think we're going to start basketball on time? I mean, now here it is. You're 3 months away. You're like 3 months away from when the season should begin. There's no conversation about the winter sports. One thing at a time, right? Figure out football season, then figure out basketball.
That's what I'm thinking.
The clock's already ticking, man. It really is.
It's too early to tell. It seems to me it'd be easier to put on winter sports than it would be college football. That's just me.
I think football is the toughest of all of the college sports to put on.
Because you've already seen, if you could do the bubble, which bubble side or not, basketball can get done.
All right, halftime homework wraps up the show after the break. Did SmackDown watch Indiana Jones movies? Well, we'll see which death was the best.
New construction and business remodeling is great, but it leaves a big mess, and job site cleanup is the final touch for any commercial construction or renovation project. When you need to put the finishing touch on your project, call your local Service Master Clean. From post-construction cleanup to everyday janitorial services, no job is too big or small. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087, or online at servicemasterpc.com.
Bundle up, get bigger savings at World of Wireless, 877-305-DISH.
Call WOW now or go to our internet site, wowfastinternet.com. That's www.wowfastinternet.com. If you live in rural areas south of Fort Smith, east of Fort Smith, Charleston, Greenwood, Milltown, Washburn, Mansfield area, near Poteau Mountain, Ozark, call us, Coal Hill, Altus. Call us at 877-305-3474 or go to wowfastinternet.com and bundle your dish service with our own high-speed internet. No matter where you live, we offer any form of internet. Almost anywhere you live, we can take care of you. But you got to call us or come by and see us at our new location in Barling.
World of Wireless, anything wireless, high-speed internet, great satellite service. You'll find it all right here. Plus, you're a Google Home store. They can see it all on the showroom floor.
Smart home systems on display. We use them in our store every day.
877-305-DISH or turn right at the light next door to Frank Rowe Furniture in Barling. That's 877-305-DISH for WOW, World of Wireless.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing, and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above can make that driveway and fence look brand new with a good power washing. You don't have to put up with those unwanted pests either. Call today and get started with the flea, tick, and mosquito treatment to start enjoying the outdoors again. More than just a mowing service. They're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea, tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
Woo, it's hotter than blazes outside.
But you don't have to stop, drop, and roll to beat this heat. Because right now you can shop, swap, and roll into a nicer, newer car. Hi, folks. Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources. I've teamed up with dealers nationwide to launch an end-of-summer car swap, where you can swap your current car for one of our Rath road-ready vehicles, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center. Even if you're still making payments, and regardless of age, mileage, or condition, you can stop by with your current ride and swap it for a nicer, newer car today. Plus, Rath Auto Resources has payments that work with almost any budget. So come on down to Rath Auto Resources, the only local dealer participating in the end-of-summer car swap. Keeping the car you have, let us get it ready for summer in our Meineke Car Care Center with free AC checks, half-off brakes, and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Only at Arkansas' favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources, and the Meineke Car Care Center, where you can shop, swap, and roll into a nicer, newer car today. Come see us at 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
High drive, way back into right field. You can kiss that one goodbye. That cleared the video board. Heston Kjerstad with a grand slam. All right, before we wrap the show up, still no word on an SEC schedule.
Of course not.
If Arkansas does play Kentucky for the second year in a row, 2 of Ray Lewis's sons will be playing for the Kentucky Wildcats. This announced yesterday. Rashawn Lewis, announcing decisions to transfer to Kentucky. Rashad, wide receiver special teamser at Maryland last year, and Rashawn, a wide receiver that played at Florida Atlantic. So Ray Lewis's 2 sons, Kentucky Wildcats, and Arkansas doesn't have them on the schedule yet, but they very well might. And maybe we'll find out about that sometime later on in the show today. All right, let's wrap it up here. Halftime homework.
What kind of homework assignment? I have a tough assignment. I'm thinking we should talk about the homework assignment.
Dude, did you do all your homework last night?
I'm not doing it. It's hard.
You really did your homework, didn't you?
It's time for Halftime homework.
What do you boys have for me today?
SmackDown, I'm giving your assignment first here. I just figured this out. So today is National Root Beer Float Day.
Ugh.
And this is one of my... Oh, good. This will be good.
Oh, great.
So you don't like a root beer float, huh?
Never been a root beer guy.
So what planet are you from since it's not Earth?
The same planet.
Uranus.
How can you not like a root beer float? What thing about a root beer float? Is it the tastiness? Is it the velvetiness?
Yes.
Is it the beautiful head on the top of your drink? What's wrong here?
I like the way it gets a little bit frozen around the ice cream, too, and there's a little bit of a crunch in the ice cream.
I'm sure I love it like a Coke float and stuff like that. But
Coke float is like the distant cousin of a...
I've never been a root beer guy, though. Like, I've never...
See, what I was going to do here is I was going to ask you to
fruit?
make non-root beer float ice cream drinks, but now I see the error of my ways. Coke floats are fine. I've always liked Sprite and strawberry ice cream, which actually works really, really well.
All right.
But I want you to just drink a root beer float and show me that you did it. That's the only thing I'm asking.
Where can I get
it's probably going to make you yak.
I'll bring one in here with 2 straws and we can share it.
Oh, yay. Oh, that'll
cute.
be cute.
That's such a perfect thing to do in the age of COVID.
Drink it out of the...
Yeah, maybe not.
And just stare into each other's eyes.
Yeah. All right, so go ahead, and that's your assignment. And let me bring on Ben in Fayetteville here before we end the show. Ben, you're on the air. What's up?
Come on, Ben. Put on your big boy pants. You're up
Hello,
to bat.
Ben. Ben
Guy
didn't
in
stay
Fayetteville.
through. Too bad. Ben's in Fayetteville, and he didn't hang on the line long enough. We were about to go to you, Ben. All right, too bad. You
Give us
can
a call back. Yeah.
877-377-6963. Okay, I asked you to rank the deaths of the Indiana Jones villains.
Yes.
1 through 3. So
yes.
you've got Raiders of the Lost Ark. There's Temple of Doom, and then there's Last Crusade. Admittedly, Temple of Doom's the death of the main villain in the Temple of Doom is just the guy falling into a river and eaten by crocodiles.
You're just talking main villain deaths?
Yeah, the main villain deaths in the other 2 movies are spectacular. You watched them.
Which one is the best?
So the best was the face melting.
Yes.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that.
In fact, that might be the greatest villain death in movie history.
And the only reason I really enjoyed it was the fact that the movie was done in '81.
The practical effects. You don't get those anymore.
No,
that would have been CGI now.
Well, but it was impressive considering the time. No, I went face melting, rapid aging, and the head explosion just because I've seen a head explosion.
The rapid aging, was that drinking from the wrong chalice?
Yes, he chose poorly. The great thing about the face melting deaths in Raiders of the Lost Ark is that there are 2 face melting deaths up on that up on the podium where they open up the ark. So that's 2 for the price of 1. That's 2 faces that melted off. And then you have the head explosion near the end. I mean, you get a trio of incredibly graphic deaths from movies that were rated PG. There was no PG-13.
That's right. It didn't exist.
That's right. So I'm glad. I say, yeah, you ranked them properly.
Good.
You ranked them properly, and I'm very glad. So, by the way, we don't even treat Kingdom of the Skull as one of the movies in the series. It doesn't count.
when you start bringing aliens into it, the whole thing with the nuclear bomb in the refrigerator,
yeah, the rest of the series was so believable too.
Phil, do you know that? Little trivia here: that scene with the refrigerator where he goes in the nuclear bomb, that was actually in the original script for Back to the Future before they came up with the DeLorean. That's how Marty was going to time travel.
That sounds like Bill and Ted's.
It does, with the phone booth.
Which, by the way, I know there's a new Bill and Ted coming out. That one I'm excited for, but I really hope that they find a way to CGI George Carlin after he died 13 years ago. All right, SmackDown. You got something to assign me. I made my assignment for you. It's to chug an entire root beer float without puking.
Oh, God.
You didn't get very good with the challenge from yesterday either.
What was the challenge?
Big boy pants.
See, I forgot about that. And
you only got him in once, and the show's over practically, so you can't.
It really was. No, I ain't got no assignment for you. You need to do your homework where you don't treat me and Matty T the same way you did Ty yesterday.
Yeah. I don't know if I could handle it.
I don't know if I could handle that either. I mean, what am I supposed to do here? Like I've said, if I'm not making fun of you, if I'm not messing around
then you don't
with
care.
you,
That's a very
if I'm
good
not
point.
being sarcastic with you, then I probably don't like you.
Actually, I do. Oh, okay, I'll give you this homework assignment. This will tie in what we have here, and we'll wrap this thing up here real quick. New survey from the Knowledge Academy in the United Kingdom found 8 in 10 people find accents attractive in a partner. Do you know what women prefer? What accent do women prefer?
Sean Connery. No, they just prefer Sean Connery.
BB Arkansas. No. A Scottish accent. 86% of the 1,200 women that were surveyed preferred a Scottish accent.
My next choice was New Jersey.
New Jersey accent. Men prefer a Spanish accent, apparently. But I want you to find me a British-speaking woman.
Elizabeth Hurley. Done.
The weakest link lady.
What was her name? Oh, God, what was, I just blanked on her name. I remember that. You are the weakest link.
Well, Sean Connery's Scottish, so when the 86% of women say Scottish, they really are saying Sean Connery. And
Sean Connery?
Elizabeth Hurley.
That's not what your mother said, Trebek.
Might be the most beautiful woman on the earth at the age 55. She looks more like she's 25, and she's a Brit, so that's my choice. Good stuff today, guys. For SmackDown and Matty T, this is Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.
Joe's Grill and Cantina is making Saturdays even better with $1